Hello, my friends and fellow VEDSies. I really don't want to fold my laundry or read ToeTube for class, so I'm going to talk about programs instead. Productive. The next program on our list is from my very first high school show. I was not in the show. One too many people auditioned. And, but I worked on it. I worked on the set construction, and I worked in costumes, hair, and makeup, which was no small task for this particular show. The show is called Here Come the Brides by William D. Fisher. It takes place in the late 40s, early 50s, if I'm remembering correctly. And it's an interesting one. I think Shakespeare would have liked it, if that makes sense. It's a genderfuckery one. It's about these two dudes named Jimmy and Bill who live with Bill's Aunt Ellen as their housekeeper in this house they can afford because Jimmy's Uncle Dan sends him money because he's a cool rich uncle. I wish I had a cool rich uncle. My uncle's all okay. Yeah. But anyways, so they have this very fancy lifestyle. Jimmy has this great girlfriend, and Aunt Ellen's mad because they're completely lazy. And one day, Uncle Dan is like, "Hey, I'm gonna come visit you and your wife." And she's like, "I don't have one." And he realizes that he sent a letter saying that he moved in with his very good friend, and Uncle Dan had thought that that meant something else. And so it is about Jimmy trying to find a wife. First, by talking to his girlfriend Madge, who's mad at him and so does not agree to pretend to be his wife. Then by trying to convince, what's the word for this? There's this guy who comes who's like, "Hey, you have a loan for your furniture, and if you don't pay me, I get the furniture." And they try to get him to do cross-dressing, and he's not super into that idea because, you know, this is a dude in the 50s. And then they're like, "Alright, well, Bill, you're my wife. Go put on a dress." And so then Uncle Dan shows up with his ward Peggy, who has a crush on Bill. Because of course she does. And there's also this woman named Mrs. Duval Smith, who has like this younger sister who goes by Bubbles, who they're trying to get Mrs. Duval Smith married to Uncle Dan because he's fucking rich. And then there's also this nurse who's trying to chase after an escaped mental patient who just wanders around with a candle. So you can imagine where this is going. There are 3 wives, and everyone is confused. Anything that can go wrong will go wrong. If you like Some Like It Hot, you probably would like this. Oh gosh, there was so much costuming and hairing and makeuping because, you know, A, it was a period piece, and B, all of those bra stuffings and teaching boys how to put eyeliner on and doing old age makeup. It was a journey. There's not that much to it. It's a dumb little comedy that probably didn't mean anything and was silly. We had a good time. See you tomorrow.